Mangwanani Mwalelepo Vanabe Africa. This is Africa Good Morning, your #1 source for decentralized African news. My name is Aina Raiza Kweyo alongside the gorgeous Diana Master.
Thank you. Stop it. I like it. So Aina, you were telling me that you hurt your ankle yesterday, correct?
Yes, I twisted my ankle. Oh my gosh.
And I bet before that happened, you had forgotten just how important doctors are, hadn't you?
Truly.
Yes, because actually it's just easy to forget just how important, valuable and necessary good doctors are. That is until, like Aina, you sustain an injury or you get ill. Now, Doctors Day puts hard-working doctors in the spotlight and encourages us to be considerate of the long hours they work, their compassion and the effort they put into practicing medicine. Happy Doctors Appreciation Day to all the doctors around the world. Let's have a look at Doctors Appreciation Day.
Thank you very much for rising with the stars, and here are the news making headlines. Poor South Africans sell their identities to foreign nationals. A Pakistan national who has a business in Gauteng is alleged to be the kingpin involved in a passport fraud syndicate that paid South Africans 500 rand to sell their identities to foreigners. He was arrested along with the 2 Home Affairs officials in a late-night bust. They were arrested in Krugersdorp Home Affairs Office on Thursday night in a joint operation between the Hawks and the Department of Home Affairs. 13 foreigners and 13 South Africans were arrested. Minister of Home Affairs Aaron Motswaledi said the police received a sworn statement from people who participated in the syndicate and now have turned into state witnesses. The unfortunate part is that South Africans who stupidly lend their identities to be utilized in this manner end up suffering serious prejudice and prejudice when trying to do other transactions, he said. South Africans were allegedly recruited for as little as 500 rand and promised jobs overseas, which were never materialized.
Mexico's 43 missing students, experts slam falsified inquiry. A group of international experts say that the Mexican government falsified its investigations into the 2014 disappearance of 43 students, releasing video footage that appears to show the military planting evidence at the scene where authorities later said the students were killed. The experts allege that the Mexican government from the start withheld or falsified evidence as it probed what happened to the students who vanished after they were detained by local police in Iguala in the southern state of Guerrero. Mexican authorities later said the students appear to have been handed over to a local drug cartel and were most likely killed. Most of the students' bodies have never been found, though burnt bone fragments have been matched to 3 students. The experts obtained government drone video that appears to show Mexican Marines and police shortly after the students vanished, climbing around the area where authorities have maintained the students were killed. In one instance, Marines are seen standing in an area of Kokula rubbish dump where federal investigators later found bullet shells. Buitrago said investigators, prosecutors and military personnel altered crime scenes and records as they rushed to solve the crime, which launched protests across the country and international condemnation that dogged the administration of then-President Enrique Pena Nieto.
In our next story, students complain of extortion to extend classes in Inhambane province, and this is in Mozambique. Parents and guardians in Inhabane province denounced cases of extortion in primary and secondary schools. According to several sources, educational establishments are demanding money for students to pay for security guards. Several children who do not pay the fee are being prevented from attending classes, parents say. Paulino Manuel, a student at Masanga Secondary School, says that he has missed class for a week because his father did not have the money to pay the security guard. I didn't attend classes last week because I didn't pay the guard's money, he says. Each student has to pay 200 metikais, about €3. It was only this week that I went back to school because I was able to pay, he added. Another student in Inhabane says that he was given a deadline by the school for paying the guard surcharge. They say that we have 15 days to pay 200 metikais. Then they will give us a receipt to show the guard so that they let us in the schoolyard.
In another story, Uganda decries lack of funds to host refugees. Uganda is considering turning away refugees from its borders, saying the international community has cut funding. Refugees and Disaster Preparedness Minister Hilary Onek said that without more funding, the country could no longer afford to cater for the growing number of refugees. We have made it known to the UN seeking more support. We do not have the capacity to look after numbers with such minimal support, he said. Onek added that a recent influx of refugees from the Democratic Republic of Congo has pushed the number to close to 1.6 million since January. The refugees in Uganda come mainly from South Sudan, DRC, Burundi, and Rwanda. According to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, the number of Congolese seeking refuge in Uganda from DRC has increased in recent months following renewed attacks by militia on civilian populations in eastern DRC. The number of new arrivals from DRC through Uganda's Bundibugyo district since January is 8,812 individuals, more than half of them children, according to UNHCR.
In our next story, Ugandan produces alternative energy from bamboo. Divine Nawabizi is the founder and CEO of Divine Bamboo, who leads a team of youth digging into dry soil, preparing a bamboo plantation. The woody plants are used by entrepreneurs in an innovative way of making briquettes. Her company plants thousands of bamboo to get raw material. Ultimately, it is an effort to fight climate change in a country where 90% of the population is fully dependent on fuel wood in the form of charcoal and firewood for daily cooking needs. The same bamboo forest can regenerate up to 50 years. Statistics shows that lack of access to affordable clean cooking fuels is one of Uganda's greatest environmental challenges. Divine and her team hope to produce 100% bamboo briquettes when more farmers join the supply chain. 2 kilograms of bamboo briquettes cost half $1, and they burn longer and are different from normal charcoal. And that is all for this first half of our stories. When we return, we have more news. Please stay with us.
Choose your Flex package with Paratus today. Sign up for ultra-fast fiber with the convenience of mobile LTE. That's 2 products in one bundle. It's new, it's one bill, and you can stay connected in more than one location.
For more information, visit paratus.africa/NA.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Welcome back. Our next story takes us to Congo, where Congo joins East African Community Trade Bloc. The East African Community Trade Bloc admitted Democratic Republic of Congo as its 7th member yesterday, increasing the market by half to 300 million people. The EAC Common Market, which consists of Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda, was set up in 2010 to allow the free movement of goods and people across borders and is one of the most advanced trading blocs on the continent. DRC's admission as a full member will boost the common market's annual economic output by a quarter, said Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta, who chairs the EAC's Heads of Summit, the top decision-making body. The bloc had a combined annual gross domestic product of $193 billion as of 2019. The entry of the DRC, which produces minerals including copper and cobalt in demand for battery vehicles and diamonds, now means the bloc stretches from the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic coastline.
In our next story, law seeks to give women rights to marital property. The common law rule whereby a husband obtains marital power over the property of his wife will soon be a thing of the past. This is because two important pieces of legislation to regulate marriages and matrimonial issues have been gazetted by the government. These are the Marriages Bill number 8 of 2022 and the Matrimonial Property Bill number 9 of 2022. It is stated in the Marriages Bill that the effect of the abolition of marital power was to do away with the restriction which marital power placed on the capacity of a wife to contract and to litigate. In 2019, the High Court was called to issue a ruling to decide whether certain sections of the existing legislation on marriage should be abolished or not. The two new bills were made known through a government gazette dated the 22nd of March 2022. As per procedure, the two bills are expected to be tabled by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Folile Shakantu, and debated in Parliament before they are enacted into law.
In Nigeria, the Nigerian train attack, gunmen killed and injured passengers, authorities say. The attack on a passenger train Monday night in northwestern Nigeria by gunmen has injured and left dead among passengers, local authorities said Tuesday morning. An Abuja-Kaduna passenger train was attacked by bandits on Monday evening. On Tuesday, authorities issued a statement saying that passengers who were injured or who died have been transferred to hospitals. The head of security in Kaduna State, Samuel Aruwan, did not give an exact death toll, nor did he say whether any passengers had been abducted, but said that a rescue operation was underway. The evacuation of passengers trapped on board the train was completed on Tuesday morning. According to several sources, the attackers set off explosives damaging the tracks and fired a large number of shots before being repulsed an hour later by soldiers deployed on the spot. This is the latest violence attributed to gangs known locally as bandits who are active in the northwest and central regions of Africa's most populous country, where they loot, kidnap, and kill.
In our next story, drought kills 92,000 livestock in Simanjiro. A total of 92,000 livestock have died due to climate change that has led to drought in Simanjiro in Manyara region. The situation that has also led to the drying up of water sources claimed the lives of 46,000 cows, 21,000 sheep and 21,000 goats, as well as 2,003 donkeys. That was said on Monday, the 28th of March by Agriculture and Livestock Officer Dr. Sweli Masanza at the launch of a new study on the ability of pastoralist communities to respond to the disaster. He said the indigenous education provided in this community has helped to reduce the further impact.
Ghana reopens lands and sea borders to boost its economy. Ghana is the latest African country to ease its COVID-19 rules. In his 28th COVID-19 address, President Akufo-Addo announced an update on the measures taken to limit the spread of the virus, citing a review premised on the background of rapidly declining infections, the relative success of the vaccination campaign, and the increased capacity in the public and private health sectors. The leader presented measures to take effect on Monday, March 28. 2 years after President Akufo-Addo closed all borders, he announced the opening of sea and land borders, vowing the economy would soon rebound. The reopening of the borders was expected by many Ghanaians who depend on cross-border trade with Togo, Ivory Coast, and Burkina Faso. Ghana's economy is struggling to recover from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic and to bear the burden of its public debt, about 80% of its GDP. All in-person activities, such as those taking place in private parties, churches, mosques, cinemas, are to resume at full capacity as long as the audience are fully vaccinated.
All right, those have been our stories. After the break, we talk to Jeremy Blau of the Secret Sunrise. That and more coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Have you received a loan from NSFAF? NSFAF loan is the same as any other loan. It must be paid and settled. NSFAF has a set of guidelines on how you can repay your loan and become debt-free. Therefore, it is important that you, a former beneficiary and a responsible Namibian, show your patriotism by helping pay back your loan and thus helping NSFAF become a revolving fund for the benefit of future potential students. By failing to pay back your NSFAF loan, you risk being blacklisted or having a court order against you. So arrange with the fund to pay back your loan today. For more information on how you can repay your loan, visit our website at www.nasfaf.na or visit our Facebook page or Twitter. Do the right thing and hashtag payback the money.
Happy Wholesome Wednesday, and thank you very much for joining us. Now, Secret Sunrise is a global silent guided dance and meditation community that started in South Africa. Today, more than 16 cities across the globe are part of the movement. With us today is Jeremy Blau of the Namibian chapter. Good morning, Jeremy, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, let's get into it. Please tell us about Secret Sunrise, where it originated and what it entails.
All right, so Secret Sunrise was born in 2014 out of a mandate to spread positivity and joy throughout the world using music, connection, and movement. It was started by two Zambian guys, Dan, Cam, and Grant Ross, who had their first session in Cape Town in 2014. So a session happens like this. So you get, for example, you get there, we give you your headsets.
Yeah.
The headsets, everyone gets these headsets over here.
Nice.
Super
Okay.
cute headsets. And everyone is on the same frequency. And you are guided by an accredited facilitator who takes you through a journey of different genres of music. And yeah, and it encompasses mindfulness, breath work, meditation,
Wow.
and free dance.
All right. Apart from music, what more does Secret Sunrise offer to its participant? When I come, what do I leave with from the
Yes.
experience?
Okay, so Secret Sunrise. So if you come to a session, you can expect to just let go,
Yeah.
just be free. It's a chance to have a break from reality, a chance to let your inner child express and just have fun in a safe, encouraging space.
All right.
And you will leave feeling refreshed, like you've just let go of everything,
yeah.
even though it's just an hour.
Like you're at peace.
Like you're at
finally.
peace, yes.
The load has been lifted.
The load has been lifted.
All right. When did Secret Sunrise start in Namibia?
Right, so Secret Sunrise started, or we had our first session in 2020. My fiance and I actually attended sessions in Johannesburg when we were both studying there. When we came back in 2019, we kind of just felt like there wasn't enough spaces in Namibia where people could be safe, free, all people, all ages, all body forms, physical activity, everything. We're trying to cater for everyone.
Right.
So there wasn't spaces like that here for us. So we reached out to Secret Sunrise. They put us through a very intense screening process because obviously we're dealing with mental health and we're dealing with serious issues as well. So the team makes sure that we are on it.
Right. Now, I am convinced that I need to come to Secret Sunrise. For those that are not convinced, how would you encourage someone to come through?
Yes. All right. So personally, for me, it started out as I was just curious.
Yeah.
I saw these people, these headsets dancing and just doing weird things like acting like animals or like being ballerinas.
Yeah.
So I joined and it just hooked me. It's something that you can't really explain to people. You just kind of need to be there and experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can really...
Well, I'm excited to join, and I understand that you also offer Secret Sunrise to corporates. Is this like a different experience, or how do you do it for corporates?
All right. So our corporate sessions are called Boost. So Boost by Secret Sunrise, where we get your team to get to their peak with curiosity, creativity, mindfulness, imagination, literally just breaking the mold of the general team building aspect. We also tailor make it for the company for whatever they request. Maybe they want, for example, we've had recent corporates that we've been getting. I've been dealing a lot with COVID effects.
Yeah.
So connection, community, comfort, restoring the energy and the synergy within a corporate section. Because we've all lost so much from COVID. Income, friends, family, all of that. So that's what we do for our corporate sections.
Now, for these corporate sessions, do we do it in a group or is it individuals? Because some of us don't like our colleagues. So how is that? Do you have separate groups or what happens exactly?
So everyone is together. So let's say, for example, 100 of the team members are busy.
Yes.
We will then... Apologies for that.
No, it's fine. Yes, okay, I understand. Now, briefly, tell us about your next event, next Secret Sunrise, and where we can catch you on social media.
All right. Our next session is next week, Friday. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Web tickets, pay today, pick and pay, literally everywhere.
How much are the tickets?
Tickets are $100 Namibian for our public sessions. And you can find us by email at namibia@secretsunrise.com, social media, Secret Sunrise Namibia, or if you're anywhere else in the world, check out secretsunrise.com to check if there's a session nearby you.
All right, and Jeremy, thank you very much for joining us on Africa Good Morning. We will definitely be coming to Secret Sunrise. Me and my colleagues, we will be there live and in color, and we hope to see you there as well. More coming up on Africa Good Morning after the break. Stay with us.
Thank you for staying with Africa. Good morning. We now head on over to Zambia, where Mr. Mike Sichula has the news on the ground. Good morning, Mr. Sichula.
Africa, good morning. I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing there?
Awesome. Okay, so authorities have issued a warning to oil marketing companies and retailers against hoarding petroleum products to influence a hike on fuel on the local market. Can you expand more on this?
Yes, thank you very much. That is the correct position. The Energy Regulation Board and the Consumer Protection Commission on Monday this week issued a warning to oil marketing companies to desist from holding fuel in anticipation that the government or the Ministry of Energy are going to increase the price of fuel. So what is happening in Zambia is that the government has more or less like empowered the private sector to be the major suppliers of oil on the market, because this has come about because the Indeni refinery, which is on the Copper Belt, when the new government came into office, they said that the refinery plant could not be in operation, or hence they placed it under care and maintenance, because they are saying for them to recapitalize it, they'll need more money. So instead of doing that, they have empowered private oil marketing companies to be supplying fuel. But they have seen a problem where some of these oil marketing companies, which are privately owned, are holding on to fuel to more or less like twist government or the Energy Regulation Board so that they can hike the price of fuel on the local market. Zambia has moved away from the quarterly review of prices of fuel. They now review the price of fuel every month. So the next review of price of fuel is supposed to happen tomorrow. So this is something that the government agencies have expressed concern and have issued a warning. However, some oil marketing companies which are local have blamed multi-international oil marketing companies, whom they are saying they are holding on to fuel outside the country so that they can influence the price of fuel on the local market.
All right, Mr. Sichula, I understand that the government now wants all driving schools to be registered. Why so?
Okay, the decision by the Ministry of Science and Technology is that they have seen a number of most of these driving schools or that are offering driving lessons are not doing things, because they are attributing this situation to an increase in the number of road traffic accidents, which, according to them, investigations have been able to suggest that some of the drivers who get driver's licenses are not fully equipped are not fully fit for them to get on the road and drive their motor vehicles. This is why the decision has been made by the Ministry of Transport and by the ministry to ensure that these driving schools are registered. So they have given the driving schools up to 31st December that they should all be compliant with the Road Transport Safety Act to apply for registration and accreditation with Gotv at a 50% discount on registration fee. So it is something that driving schools have not commented, but the government has insisted that whoever is not going to register by 31st December, they risk having their licenses that were issued to be revoked and are suspended from the market. So we are yet to, like I've said, to get the views of driving schools about this change, because what used to happen is that driving schools were just registering to the Road Transport Safety Agency and not another government agency. So this is something that is new. We are yet to see what will happen on the ground.
Yes, indeed. And now, on a rather sad note, a Zambian Air Force aircraft crashed, killing 2 pilots in Livingston on Monday this week. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, this is one of the sad stories that happened in Zambia, in Livingston, to be precise, on Monday this week, where 2 ZAF pilots died after their plane crashed somewhere around Kazumbura area in Livingston. So what authorities have said that they have issued investigations to establish what could have caused the crash to happen. So it was on your right, on your left there. That is the student who was under training, and the other deceased was an instructor. So that is just a foul picture of one of the planes that went down some time ago. So what has, from statistics that I've been able to gather, in the last 17 years, ZAF planes have crashed about at least 8 times, 21 people in the process. So this is something that is huge, because the Zambia Air Force is in charge of the safety of the nation in the air and on the ground. So if you can have a situation where 8 plane crashes, then over 21 people are dying, it becomes a source of concern for authorities. So it is something that people in the aviation sector are hoping that authorities are going to investigate so that these crashes are prevented.
All right, Master Sichula, could you please briefly tell us about the football competition happening in Lusaka?
Yes, this is one and the only cup competition in the Zambian Super League, the APSA Cup. So this week there will be semi-finals at Lusaka's Woodland Stadium, where 4 teams, namely Nkana Football Club, NAPSA Football Club, Red Arrows, and Choma Eagles, will be fighting for a position in the finals to be played at the National Heroes Stadium. The prize money for the winners is 35,000 United States dollars. So this is what will be happening in Lusaka. It will be a high-packed encounter of 4 good teams that are vying for that prize money that I've just said.
Master Sichula, thank you very much for bringing us the news from Zambia.
Africa, good morning. Thank you very much. Do have a blessed week. Thank you.
A blessed day we shall have indeed. Now it's raining in Windhoek today, and I only hope that your umbrella is ready. Now let's have a look at how the weather looks like in other cities. Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. Now, a vote of no confidence was tabled against the head of state. To tell us more is Ari Hougaard, all the way in Cape Town, South Africa. Good morning, Ari. Please tell us about this interesting development.
Yes, very good morning, everyone. Yes, it comes actually from 2020, February 2020, all the way back to then. It was the ATM, the Africa Transformation Movement. That was the political party that tabled it in 2020. They only have 2 seats, but they are allowed to do that. In the meantime, it went back and forth because of COVID, of course, as well. But the indication, well, it's happening this afternoon. So there is a motion of no confidence. It was mainly in the courts because there was a request that it needs to be in secret ballot. And that was denied by the speaker and also denied by the court. So there will be a vote of no confidence that is tabled. That's the first time ever that President Cyril Ramaphosa has to face this. There was talks of that for a while. There's lots of things that is not in place at the moment. The challenges, one of the reasons that was given for the vote of confidence by these parties that Democratic Alliance also supported is also that the president presides over the collapse of state-owned entities. That's one of the reasons, and it's well documented. Eskom and Denel and Transnet that's really struggling. So that will be tabled this afternoon. It won't be in secret ballot. The votes will be. It will be known who votes in what direction. But it is the indication is that it is going to be difficult for those parties to achieve a vote of no confidence.
All right, and we hear that tensions in Bredasdorp in the Western Cape remain high as local residents clash with Zimbabwean and Malawian nationals, and it has prompted the South African Human Rights Commission to intervene. Can you expand on this?
Yeah, xenophobia is not acceptable anywhere in the world, and that is a challenge. Bredasdorp is right on the southern tip of Africa, close to Agulhas, but it's spilled over from Robertson. That is the area in Bredasdorp. About 1,000 people were displaced and had to go to government buildings for safety. About 450 families that was had to be moved. It is initially the tension was between Zimbabwean and Malawian and South African nationals. There was also tension in Robertson. That's an area not far away from Bredasdorp, but it's linked to farm workers not being happy that there's workers from Lesotho and Zimbabwe also there to work on the farms. So it's the Department of Home Affairs and the South African Human Rights Commission are key people in what the government can do. They call it a multi-government approach. Department of Home Affairs, Department of Labour, and then the Human Rights Commission. So they're all working with municipalities and the community leaders. That's the important one, to work with the community leaders. So there's good talks going on at the moment, and it needs to be resolved, but it needs to be resolved through the community leaders.
All right, Ari, please briefly tell us about the suspension of Ace Mangashule's court case.
Yes, also coming for quite a while. It's been in and out of courts. In short, the High Court said no, it must be heard in court. Just in short, it's the corruption charges is quite comprehensive. There's 70 charges against former Secretary General Ace Magashule, and it is related to asbestos contract when he was Premier of the Free State. The contract was 255 million South African rand. Only 21 million rand was used for that. The others need to be accounted for. There's 3 co-accused, and they need. The court said that the court case, the High Court said the court case could continue.
Okay. So municipalities in South Africa continue to battle to pay Eskom, and Eskom has warned that electricity blackouts might be possible in some regions. Can you expand on this development?
Now, South Africans really battle with electricity, and the load shedding is bad as it is just to generate the electricity, but we need to pay for it as well, and that's something that South Africans need to be educated for and on. The municipalities really battle to get that money in. So there's millions, actually billions of rand owed to Eskom by municipalities. 2 municipalities just came out yesterday and mentioned amount. 730 million rand, that is what's owed by the Gauteng municipalities. Cape Town also said that that is rand. West City municipality, they owe 730 million. And then Cape Town also indicated 4 municipalities collectively 222 million that's owed to Eskom. But that's just a small amount. It is 40 billion South African rand that's owed to Eskom by municipalities because of electricity, and really because municipalities fail to collect revenue in townships and from the consumer. So it is a big challenge. We can understand why Eskom is under pressure.
All right, Ari, fans will be allowed back in stadiums as of the 8th of April. Please tell us about this briefly.
Yes, that is soccer fans. They also, rugby started doing that. The good news for soccer fans, it's the Premier League announced, Urban Khoza announced. As from the 8th and the 9th of April, it will look like that on the picture behind. Well, 50% capacity from, that is the Nedbank quarterfinals that will start the 8th of April. COVID, the protocols in place, need to be vaccinated, and also you can give a negative COVID test that's not older than 72 hours. Then you can go into the stadium and enjoy your soccer game.
All right, Ari, I am fully vaccinated. Please do let me know when Mamelodi Sundowns is in whatever stadium. I am willing to come to South Africa. Thank you very much for bringing us the news.
Absolutely. Bring your vuvuzela, and looking forward. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much, Ari. Now, in our economic news, in Algeria, buying oil feels like buying drugs. More after the break.
Have you received a loan from NSFAF? NSFAF loan is the same as any other loan. It must be paid and settled. NSFAF has a set of guidelines on how you can repay your loan and become debt-free. Therefore, it is important that you, a former beneficiary and a responsible Namibian, show your patriotism by helping pay back your loan and thus helping NSFAF become a revolving fund for the benefit of future potential students. By failing to pay back your NSFAF loan, you risk being blacklisted or having a court order against you. So arrange with the fund to pay back your loan today. For more information on how you can repay your loan, visit our website at www.nasfaf.na or visit our Facebook page or Twitter. Do the right thing and hashtag #paybackthemoney.
Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. We start in Algeria, where buying oil feels like buying drugs. Food prices are climbing sharply in Algeria, where shoppers say cooking oil and milk are so scarce you need to butter the shopkeeper to get any. The impact of measures to deal with the first coronavirus pandemic and now the war in Ukraine is making life hard for consumers. It feels like buying drugs, says Sami Hassama, who's 31, with a mixture of cynicism and revulsion. The exchange usually takes place discreetly, with the precious supply kept hidden at the back of the shop. Now, with the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan due to the start of the weekend, Algerians have been setting up efforts to get hold of cooking oil, as it's a vital ingredient in many of the special dishes eaten during the month. Compared to Algeria's monthly average salary of $240 for private sector workers and $410 for public sector workers, it is little wonder the pressure has been mounting on authorities to act.
In South Africa, the unemployment rate breaks new record. Black women still most vulnerable. Unemployment in South Africa grew by 0.4 of a percentage point to reach 35.3% in the final quarter of 2021, according to Statistician General Risenga Maluleke. South Africa now has an employed workforce of 14.5 million, an increase of approximately 262,000, while unemployed persons now number 7.9 million, 278,000 more since 2021 Q3. Black African women are still the most vulnerable, with an unemployment rate of 42.4% during Q4 of 2021, approximately 4.2 percentage points higher than the national average.
In our next story, Ghana's e-tax marred by skepticism. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta proposed the e-levy in November to widen the tax net, but opposition was so fierce that it caused a brawl in Parliament a month later, and it failed to pass. The government plans to resubmit the bill next week and try to fast-track it. Lawmakers will recess on April the 15th, closing the window for its passage if it is not voted on before then. The tax, which could be mobile money payment, bank transfer, merchant payments, and inward remittance, could rise up to 6.9 billion Ghanaian cedi.
In Tanzania, a new plan to raise fish harvest. Tanzania is promoting advanced and modern fish farming techniques in an effort to raise harvests and consumption of the protein-rich products. Currently, the country's annual per capita fish consumption stands at 8.5 kilograms, but the plan is to raise this to 10.5 kilograms. Come 2025. Globally, it is estimated that the average per capita of fish consumption is 20.5 kilograms. The director of aquaculture from the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries Development, Dr. Nazael Madala, said Tanzania was implementing strategies to modernize fish farming so as to meet the growing demand.
All right. Those have been our economic news story. Coming up, economic indicators.
Heading over to our sports news, let's take a look at Ari, who's giving us our sports package. Ari.
Good day, everyone. It's time for international sports news, and we start off with the cricket news in the World Cup of Women 50-over World Cup in New Zealand that's being played at the moment. Lots of excitement there. The semi-final is going to take place. Australia play against the West Indies, and South Africa play against England. And news from the tournament, news from the Australian camp is that the all-rounder of Australia, Alison Perry, won't be able to play against the West Indies. She's injured, she's got a back spasm, and she won't be able to play against the West Indies. Probably be replaced by the all-rounder, 20-year-old all-rounder Annabelle Sutherland. Sutherland also played in the previous game of Australia, and Australia the big favourites in this tournament. They're the pre-tournament favourites as well. They were unbeaten in the round-robin phase of this tournament. The other semi-final that will be played against England and South Africa, and England of course is the defending champion, and it is also a repeat of the 2017 semi-final when South Africa lost against England. Other cricket news, and that is from the men's division, is that lots of pressure building up on the England captain, that is Joe Root. Joe Root's been captaining England for quite a while, for about 4 or 5 years, and he had not good results the past series. They lost against the West Indies. The series loss was 1-0 now in the West Indies, and before that Australia also beat England in the Ashes by 4-0. It is a former captain of England, that is Michael Vaughan, that made its statement publicly. He said that he suggests that Joe Root step down. The reason for that is that England is winless in their last 9 games, and and they only won 1 of their past 17 tests. Now I continue with tennis news, and it's news from the Miami Open that's taking place in Florida. Men and women playing in that tournament, and in the men's division, news from there is that Daniel Medvedev needs to win the next 2 games, and then he will be world number 1 again, overtaking Novak Djokovic. It was Medvedev in the round of 32 that played against Pedro Martinez of Spain. He beat him by 6-3 and 6-2. He will next play Jensen Brooksley of the USA, who beat Roberto Auger from Spain. And if Daniel Medvedev reaches the semi-final of this tournament, he will be the new world number 1. In the women's division, the new world number 1, Iga Swiatek of Poland, she continued with a good form. She played against the young American Coco Gauff, and she beat her by 6-3 and 6-1. And also through in the tournament is Naomi Osaka, and she beat Alison Risk of the USA by 6-3 and 6-4. Now on to some soccer news, and Manchester United still looking for a new coach, and the interim coach of Manchester United soccer team at the moment, Ralf Rangnick of Germany, is only in that position till July. Speculation of 2 coaches that might be in line for the new coach of Manchester United. The first one is Erik ten Hag. He is at the moment the coach of Ajax Amsterdam, and the other coach that might be considered as the new Manchester United coach is Mauricio Pochettino of Paris Saint-Germain. It is Mauricio Pochettino of PSG. So those are the 2 front runners. At the moment it seems like Erik ten Hag of Ajax Amsterdam is a favourite to be the new coach, but that is still in the process. They must still appoint the new coach. And to conclude, it is golf news and the Masters. The US Masters will start on the 7th of April. That is the second big major of the year on the men's golf tour. And news from the Valero Texas Open is that many players will play in the Texas Open this week in preparation for the Masters next week. The biggest name that will play there is the defending Masters champion, that is Hideki Matsuyama from Japan, and he's been injured for a month and a half, and he makes his comeback in the Texas Open that will start this week in San Antonio in Texas. Other high-profile players that will play in the Texas Open in preparation for the Masters is Rory McIlroy. He haven't played in that tournament for 8 years. And then also it will be Bryson DeChambeau. The last time he played in the Texas Open before the Masters was in 2017. Like I said, the Masters start on the 7th of April. That's international sports news for now. We talk again tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.
That was Ari Hougaard giving us the latest scoop on the sports news. Now, in case you missed it at the start of the show, let's have a look at the highlights. Poor South Africans sell their identities to foreign nationals. Mexico's 43 missing students, experts slam falsified inquiry. Students complain of extortion to attend classes in Inhambane province. Uganda decries lack of funds to host refugees. Ugandan produces alternative energy from bamboo. Algeria's cash crunch, buying oil feels like buying drugs. And those have been your highlights.
Thank you very much for joining us on this wholesome Wednesday edition of Africa Good Morning. We do welcome your remarks regarding our show. You can leave a comment on our Facebook and Twitter pages. That's at Africa Good Morning. You can also catch us on our website, that is One Up 2. Alternatively, we are on DSTV channel 285 as well as Gotv channel 94. On that note, it's all our love, all our light.
Until tomorrow, goodbye.